Welcome. If you are considering interview coaching, allow me to share with you a little bit about why preparing is so important and what coaching with me will look like. My name is Kim O'Neill, and in 2013, I started helping people prepare for job interviews after seeing so many times that they simply didn't know what they didn't know. And I had a wide range of experience with which to help fill in those gaps. After a few years of hosting a podcast, I decided to also do podcast interview coaching. And so that is what I do today. And you can find out more about that on the KimO'NeillCoaching.com website. I am so passionate about demystifying the interview process, filling in the gaps, helping to spotlight some of those blind spots that you may not be aware of. Because when you prepare for an interview, and especially when you have a coach working with you, it really helps to make that difference between having an interview and having no clue about how you did, and knowing that you did well in an interview and significantly increasing your chances of actually receiving the job offer, of actually making a positive impression on a podcast host and the audience. Interviews are very subjective, and with them, you only have a limited time frame with which to showcase your best self. I always say, assume that the interviewers do not already know you. For job interviews, your resume alone isn't sufficient. It's your job to not only know what's on the resume, but what's behind it, and then make it come to life in the interview. Let them see that you not only look good on paper, you actually are that good as what's on your resume. For podcast interviews, there's the host and the audience who will be connecting with you. Being invited to be on a show is the equivalent to being asked to come to a job interview. It's that first step to getting your foot in the door. Now, once you're on the show, you want to make sure that your words translate for an audience who may not be able to see you, who may only be hearing you and your words. When you're on the right types of podcasts and showcasing your best self, you will not only feel good about your interview, but your chances of getting hired, gaining new customers, and gaining new followers will also increase. When you have a greater understanding of the overall interview process, have more understanding of how you are presenting yourself, and are feeling more comfortable with all of it, you will appear more relaxed, grounded, and confident, which elicits more trust in who you say you are, even if you still have some nerves. In your interview coaching session with me, we're going to go through all of it. So I'm going to help you gain clarity on what your strengths are, help you understand how to answer certain questions, how to navigate them. We're going to get all of that stuff out of the way ahead of time. We're going to practice together out loud through mock interviews. And through this, you're going to develop muscle memory so that it becomes more natural and easier, more free flowing for you to be able to express your value, showcase your best self while being who you authentically are. Because none of this is about being perfect. It's not about being someone who you aren't. It's about being so in tune with who you authentically are that when you speak it, it is more felt and seen by the other people. When you see who you are, then it's that much easier for other people to see who you are. And when you can communicate that, then they're able to feel it and trust it. Lastly, in our interview coaching session, there's very little that you'll actually memorize. This is not about, I'm going to give you some set key answers and you're going to remember those things and say them verbatim in your interviews. No. We'll definitely work on your tell me about yourself, which is pretty much the most of what you might memorize, because that's a pretty standard question in all interviews. Once you have that down, it's pretty much just a straightforward answer. But beyond that, we're going to practice. We're going to review all of your experiences, what it is that you have to offer, so that regardless of what questions you're asked, you will be prepared, knowing how to flow with each question and provide your best answer. And through all of this preparation, again, it lends itself to you feeling more confident. So even if you're in an interview and you make a mistake or you say something that you wish you hadn't said for whatever reason, because you will have prepared, it's going to be that much easier to get right back into the swing of things and switch gears. When you prepare for an interview ahead of time, the experience is that much more enjoyable for you, and your chances of being hired, being offered a position, significantly increase. It shows when someone has prepared for an interview. Guess what? A lot of people do not. A lot of people do not take the time to prepare and they just wing it. Well, how long is it taking you to get those interviews? How much longer are you willing to wait for that next paycheck? When you take the time to prepare ahead of time, it speeds things up and you get to have more fun in the process. I've got you in this, and I know that you are so much more amazing than possibly even you know. If you've got a job interview coming up, book a free consultation with me so we can see if we're a fit. And if you've got a podcast interview coming up, or you would just like to begin to prepare because you see yourself moving in the direction of podcast interviews, then let's get on a session because you can do it. If you are someone who already knows that you're good at what you do and you simply fumble when it comes to the interview, an interview coaching is right for you. It is my honor to facilitate this process for you, supporting you and gaining deeper confidence in who you are and in honing your interview skills. I look forward to connecting with you soon.